Welcome to the road least traveled. My name is Suli and I'm your host. In this podcast, I share with you what I've learned in my journey of spiritual awakening, and I hope that it helps you in yours. So stay with me. Let's figure this thing out together. We're searching for the answers in the wrong places. But who would have guessed that I found the answers in a box of old photos? One day I was doing some spring cleaning and I found a box of old photos. So I went through it and I found one of myself when I was 3. And I suddenly got this idea of showing her around. So I showed her the house I built, the outdoor bathroom I've always wanted, the trees that had begun to fruit, and the flowers that were giving out so many different fragrances and the butterflies that they attracted. I said, look at what you've done. Aren't you so proud of yourself? Now, I wasn't saying that I was proud of me. I'm not proud of myself, not really. Well, not yet anyway. But I am proud of this child that I was who'd achieved so much despite everything. I somehow found a way to detach myself and the self-criticism that came with it. And I just looked at this child who was me. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but for me, I had to detach from myself and look at the child because a child is innocent and untainted by the crap of this world. A child is easier to love. And then you move one step at a time to eventually love the adult you. We took long walks together, and one day, sitting on a rock facing the mountain range that had become our view for the last 6 years, I told her the story of her life, the bitter, the sour, the sweet, leaving nothing unsaid. And then I turned to her. Look at who you've become. Sometimes we go for car rides. We ate ice cream and chips. I answered her endless questions. I taught her to cook, to plant seedlings and nurture the saplings, how to tie her shoelaces, and how to carve hummingbirds from tree branches. We gaze at the sky, listening to the trickling water from the nearby stream. Once I asked her, if you knew what lay ahead, would you have taken this path? She replied, yes. Why? I asked. Because I want to be with you, she said. I promised my child self that I'll always be there for her, always protect her, and that I'll always love her. The time we had was so precious that I wanted to tell her so many things. And one of the things was how sorry I was that I couldn't protect her before. I asked for her forgiveness. She assured me that there was nothing to forgive. You see, my adopted self was a bridge between my now self and my past. With my limited human abilities, it was my attempt at quantum leap to change our story. But first we had to go through the painful recollections, and we did, and she was braver than me. We went through every inch of our hidden past and called them out. We cried, we laughed, we silently held each other, we did yoga together, we watched TV. But there were days when I felt we'd move 2 steps forward and then a step back. But the journey is like that, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And some days there were no step forward, just backward. On days like that, we'd do something ridiculously simple. Once we saw a wilted plant, we watered it. Minutes later, it was back up, its leaves stretching out plump and broad. We saved a life that day. A few times a week, we'd drive out to feed the strays. These are things that cost so little, but make so much difference. After about 2 years, my adopted child self started appearing less and less, and then she disappeared altogether. I did miss her. I felt a bit sad, but I didn't wish for her to return. I'm happy that she doesn't need me anymore. I know she's okay. I've been a backpacker most of my life, on roads less traveled, fascinated by the richness of this world with all its good, bad, beautiful, and ugly. So I'm not glossing over things. I've seen truly heartbreaking stuff in person, and I tried to make sense of it. But no matter how far I went, how much I read, and how many people that I spoke with, all I learned was nothing, a whole bunch of nothing. So what do you do when you've covered so much ground, seen so many paths, and still crave for something unknowable? You go on the road least traveled, a journey inward where all the answers are. When we heal ourselves, everything falls into place. Everything about the world starts to make sense to us. We know why things happen and how to collectively make it better. And it's not by arguing or by trying to convince others to see our point of view. It's just by healing ourselves. So today, you can start by getting acquainted with your child self. Go for a walk with him or her, draw or paint something together, share a pizza. Tell them the story of your life and how far both of you have come, and see where it takes you. You'll probably find that your internal landscape is far richer, more vast, and more at peace than the world outside of you. I really hope this works for you. If not completely, well, at least it's the first step towards healing. Because when we heal ourselves, we heal the world. Thank you for listening. If you found this of value, please follow and share it.